Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today is a special day because we will have an interview with our international students from our neighbors country, that is Ardi from Indonesia. So, Ardi, I will ask you some question, uh, but before that, I will ask you about your background first, like the idioms from Malay that is tak kenal maka tak cinta. So, Ardi, can you tell us about your background?
Uh, Let me introduce myself. My name is Ardi. I come from Indonesia. I'm a lecturer and in UTHM I taking PhD at electrical engineering.
Okay, Ardi. So you came from Indonesia just to learn in the UTHM, that is a part of Malaysia. So why do you want to having your PhD in this country? Can you tell us a little bit, maybe?
Uh, I look for research opportunity and some of doctor in UTHM come to my university and inform about this research opportunity, and they also give the scholarship. So I come here, and I think in Malaysia is not too far from Indonesia. The weather condition is almost the same, and the food is not quite different. So I think it's easier for me to adapt in Malaysia. Yeah, that's all.
So we continue to the next part that I will give it to Haris to interview you. So Haris.
Okay, so Ardi, first of all, I would like to tell you that my name is Haris. Okay. So my part of question is gonna be about job specification, but I don't know why. Sometimes I feel that your what am I going to ask is already answered by you. Okay, so but however, I still want to ask that my question is going to be separately into two. For the first one, I heard that you are a lecturer before, right? So can I know if there are any experience of your job in terms of what are you studying in? And my second question is going to be what are your field of study and does it relate to what are you looking for in terms of career goals?
First question about electric is a new field of study for me. In informatics, I never study deeply about electric, but some topic related to informatics, the algorithm used in my research I have studied before, and the technique for research is quite similar in my field of study, using some programming language, and some topic is related in informatics. So I think it's not quite difficult to understand. For your second question,
Yeah.
can you remind me?
Sorry. About my second question is it what you are studying now is relatable in what are the goals that you are going to achieve?
Okay. Some of your question I have answered in my
Yes.
previous comments, and as if PhD is important to me as a lecturer to improve my career, so I can have greater research opportunity and also can increase my salary as a lecturer. And is some requirement in Indonesia to be lecturer. Uh, PhD degree is must. Yeah. Um, if I still in master degree, I cannot achieve any.
What are you dream for in the academic
Yeah,
industry?
yeah. I can get higher position, yeah, as a lecturer.
Okay, so Ardi, I think that's all my questions from part of job specification. I will pass to Fatih, and then we will see. We will meet again later.
Okay, Ardi. Actually, everyone knows about Indonesia. You know, when you come from any other country, when you go to Europe, for example, and then you ask about Indonesia, everyone will know. And we all know that Indonesia have many culture. Uh, the places are there are so many beautiful places in Indonesia, Bali, Yogyakarta, and so on. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your country, about from your point of view, what is the special what is the special what are the special that Indonesia have?
Yeah, in Indonesia we have so many culture, so many a lot of different traditional language, traditional dances, and so on. I think it's the main characteristic of my country. But beside of the differences and various culture we have one national language, so it's no problem if many different people with different culture we meet, we can understand uh, and Indonesia. We have one national language and we have semboyan. In English we call
What's that?
ideologi.
Oh, ideology, that
Ideologi.
is Bhinneka.
Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. Different, but we have satu
Ibu
kesadaran.
Pertiwi.
We have many different culture, but we unite as one nation, Indonesia. Yeah, and Indonesia have a lot of beautiful places, and it's quite interesting for foreign people to come. And Indonesia is famous in foreign people about their kind kind people and maybe cheap price for yeah for daily life, yeah. So yeah, it's all.
So that's all my question for your country background. Then we will go through the PESTEL. The PESTEL is about the politics, economy, social, tech, technology, legal, and environment will be uh, that will be asked by Haris. So we can go to the next part, and I will pass it to Haris.
Okay, so personally, I am also get interest when you are talking about your country background, because I went to Indonesia before and I know about Gojek, Gojek, and one of the most important thing that I think so interest myself is about the song Yala Waton. You know that song, Yala Waton song. I think the song is quite hurtful, Okay, I think that's all about my summary in order to your country background. So now we are talking about serious topic, which is pastel, about the economic and so on. So I have an idea. How about we are doing that discussion in some other place so that we have a lot of another airs, so that we can have a more idea on that. So now we are in new place, new vibes, and new kind form of idea. Okay, so as I said before, serious topic about pastel. As Fatih said, pastel is an element that I can say is a considered element that investor will see in order to do the investment. Okay, political stability and the government policies, how it impact to your country's economy.
Okay, yeah, thank you for your question. The first aspect is about political condition. Yeah. In Indonesia, I think the politics is very dynamic. Every 5 year, we have a new politic party. Some of them disband, and some of new politic party is will come will will yeah will form by new politician, yeah. But for the election, I think the person is not quite different from previous election. Uh, some old people dominate the competition in election. And every 5 year there are some how we call it, keributan.
Oh, you see, like anarchist thing.
No, no, in social media, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, so a lot of political issue will dominate the social media, and then the politician play
there
a
will
lot
be
of,
many fake news
yeah,
on the
funny
social media.
hoax and fake news and
Hoax,
yeah, social media to, yes, some political agenda for yeah, they want to uh, they want to win the election with,
They will do anything
yeah,
for
and
that.
do anything for
to win
to
and
win,
form
yeah.
the government.
Yeah, yes, yeah, it's about political condition. And what other aspect is about,
Government policies.
government policies. Yeah, in Indonesia, I think the government do many effort to, they want to reduce the subsidy for our people. So they want to increase the investment from a lot of investor, and reduce the uh, subsidies. So it's not very popular, decision, but I think they success at this position. And in Indonesia, some decision is is happen because it come viral issues. Yeah. If any how we call it, any problem is not uh, take with the right decision, it will goes up in social media and gain a lot of attention from our people. So many of our people will uh, discuss the viral issues, and it will gain, yeah, the government, yeah. But it if something not not viral first is
Then
difficult,
government will take
yeah,
action.
difficult to treat with direct direct decision, yeah.
Thank you for the answers, but the most interesting part is the viral part because in Malaysia there is the same. Yes, government is taking the action, but most of the action is taken after the viral, which means people have to speak, then government want to do, which means the right decision is being done after we are speak out. Okay, so that's the first part of my question. The second part of this particular section gonna be about some economic things or economic matter. Can you discuss or describe a little bit on GDP and what is the most major industrial in in Indonesia, and how it impact the investment sector?
Okay, about GDP, Indonesia GDP, I think is quite high, yeah, higher than Malaysia, but in Indonesia more people, if we compare with Malaysia. So the capital income in Indonesia is lower than Malaysia, and I think uh, Indonesia government must do a lot of effort to improve this condition. And I think Malaysia has better, we call it, yeah, better salary. Yeah. For example, in my profession, yeah, as a
Docent.
lecturer, yeah, docent or pensyarah or lecturer, I heard in Malaysia they give uh, higher salary than Indonesia. Yeah, yeah, I think.
Okay, thanks too for the answer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Haris. So now I will go through the environment part, that is about the people's day, for example, about how they think about their government. Does their government have been made a right decision, and so on. So I think I can ask about is there any pressure from the NGOs to the government about uh, the acts or the policies that have been made by the government? Is there any pressure? Is there any maybe organization that doesn't like with the policies that introduced by the government, and so on? Maybe you can tell us about uh, the pressure that have been made by the NGOs, and does the pressure that they have been made impact on the economy of Indonesia?
Okay, thank you. About, yeah, about this environment, a lot of government decision, I think is some of them controversial, yeah. And if uh, decision controversial decision is made, it's quite difficult to protest for it because the current condition in Indonesia, uh, they form a law. If we too much criticize the government, they will yeah, they will take action for the for the people protest it. Yeah. And in the past time we have social media for our way to criticize the government, but they have we call it undang-undang ITE. Yeah. So they will use this law to press the, yeah, sometime NGO, sometime personal individu. Yeah. So a lot of people afraid to express their opinion about government decision. And in the political condition, there there are not balanced power between government side and opposition side, because almost the political party they join in government side. So it's quite difficult, very difficult to criticize the government in our how we call it, our we, legislative legislative, ya, in our legislative apa ya, legislative office, ya. Yeah. So yeah, many of a lot of government decision is not the best one lah, but yeah, people will, yeah, not very criticize with it, and yeah, we just accept it, and yeah, hope for the best for, yeah, they will yeah, someone will correct the wrong decision in the future.
Okay, so what I can say that the hot issue or the climax part is already done now. So now we are about to landing. So the next part gonna be your personal preference, and what I can say that from the information given or information provided to you, what is your personal preference or personal look towards Malaysia? You for you as an international student personally.
Okay, as international student in Malaysia, I have some opinion. The first one is about the living cost, yeah. In Paritraja, in UTHM, I think, yeah, quite similar with our big cities in Indonesia, the living cost. I live in small city in Jawa Tengah. The living cost is smaller than Paritraja, so yeah, uh, quite quite hard to save the money here. And yeah, other opinion about UTSM or my campus here, there are a lot of international students here. In my university in Indonesia, the number of international student is quite small. So I think it's good to come here. I have good experience as a student. I have good international relation And the other thing is about to get the uh, how to ini ya get host to rent ya. Yeah, in Indonesia it's very easy to get some room to rent or house. Yeah, we can use an application in our smartphone to search the available room. But in Malaysia, um, I just use the Facebook. Quite hard to get alternative to find the information about house to rent, and the price is quite high if I compare with my city. Yeah. With the same price, I can get top top tier quality top tier top tier room quality in Indonesia. But in here, yes, standard lah, standard quality with the same price. Yes, maybe because the economical condition in this country is different with Indonesia. About other things. About I have experience with the traffic condition in Malaysia. Yeah, I think the car driver in Malaysia is they obey the rules. Yeah, if I often look in Malaysia the car driver, they prioritize the bicycle, and they wait if we want to cross the road. But in Indonesia, they they don't they don't they don't prioritize the bicycle. They don't care with people walking in the road. They just want the fastest. Yeah, yes, quite different with Indonesia. Yes, I think some opinion as international student. Yeah.
So, before I give the floor to the Fatih, maybe this is my very last question to you. In brief, since I catch your words, it's good to be here. Would you recommend to your friend to be studying here in brief?
Okay. Yeah. For the international student come from Indonesia, my point of view, Malaysia is has a lot of similarities with Indonesia, so it's not difficult for the adaptation with our lifestyle, with culture, with the food, with Indonesia. So it's suitable for Indonesia student to come here and get the international experience as the student, and get good academic environment. The research environment is good in Malaysia. They have a lot of fun to for the student if they want to do some research. Yeah, I think that's all.
Actually, I want to thank to RD because he just answered the last question with Haris just now. That is about differences in real estate in Malaysia and Indonesia. Just like RD said, the the price of housing in Indonesia are much cheaper than in Malaysia. To get the higher level of housing in Indonesia are the same level with the medium house in Malaysia. So we know about the differences, different prices about the house, and we also know that from RD point of view, to find a house to rent are much easier in Indonesia than in Malaysia, because like RD just said, in Indonesia they have the application to find the house, while in Malaysia it's hard because they need to find it on Facebook and other things. So now we know the differences in real estate. So thank you RD for your time to being asked by us, and that's all. Thank you. So thanks again once again to RD because giving his time to to have some interview with us, and RD is such a humble person, you know. Back to his country, he was a lecturer. He was not same level like us. uh, we a student, and he was a lecturer in his hometown, but he being such a humble person to us, and I think it was a great moment because I can have some discussion with, you know, lecturer from Indonesia, and having having a time with him. And uh, from my point of view about Indonesia, I think Indonesia was a beautiful country with many cultural